Minnesota, are you ready? Give it up for Chris D'Elia!
We should have known this was coming. It feels so obvious now that it was inevitable. Although it never felt like it at the time, it turns out canceled was a temporary status. I wasn't really around for Chris's initial cancellation, but I have heard a great deal about him, his actions, and his misdeeds. This will be a review of his new stand-up special. But first, I need to set the tone and provide some context. So let's rewind to the year 2019.
I love you.
Me?
Yes, I love you. All right, what do you got, Jen Cat?
Okay, so this woman is a teacher. She taught in a middle school and a high school. She was recently charged for sending one of her former students nudes through Snapchat. She was also Miss Kentucky at one point. Jeez. And her excuse was that she was trying to send a nude photo of her through Snapchat to her husband, but accidentally sent it to one of her students. And when he responded, she freaked out and sent him more.
Oh, she's full of shit. Obviously, be better at lying. But also, does she deserve to go to prison for 2 years?
No,
for sending a teenage boy tits?
Well,
how old was
she?
the
She sent
kid?
him more?
Well, he's in
15, yeah.
15.
And
Oh,
she
that
is
kid's probably
29.
that kid's probably damaged for the rest of his life. Or he has jacking
She
material
sent him
for
more?
Yes, but here's the thing. She sent it through Snapchat. Why does she have her students Snapchat?
Yeah, well, that's weird, yeah.
Let me see her body. Dude, if I'm 15
That's amazing.
and this history teacher sends me those tits,
Yeah.
you'd be stoked.
Very strange to me, though.
It's an odd
such
thing.
a weird thing to do.
Wait, hold on.
Wait, she won an
It's a
award?
strong core.
She was
has a strong core.
2014 Miss Kentucky.
That's a strong core.
Kentucky, not exactly that
All right,
competitive.
all right, man. You said that 3 times.
Yeah, no, I heard you the 7th time and I ignored it.
It's just a strong core.
Very
Okay,
SpongeBob-ish.
But hold on a second. How did it come out? Like, how did they
The
Parents.
boy's mother ended up finding it.
Fucking
finding
haters.
it? What do you mean? It
Haters.
Snapchat goes away, right? How they?
He probably saved it. You can screen record, take screenshots.
You got to know that that's going to happen. Some people
I
do some
guess,
crazy
yeah.
shit.
Yeah, he says,
I'm going to play that one more time because it's a crucial moment in Chris's downfall. Keep an eye on Chris's face. And if I've figured out how to zoom by the time I'm editing this, throw me some props in the comments.
and I've ignored it.
It's just a strong core.
Very
Okay,
SpongeBob-ish.
But hold on a second. How did it come out? Like, how did they?
The
Parents.
boy's mother ended up finding it.
Fucking
Finding
haters.
it? What do you mean?
Haters.
Snapchat goes away, right? How they?
He probably saved it. You can screen record, take screenshots.
You got to know that that's going to happen. Some people
I
do some
guess,
crazy
yeah.
shit.
Yeah, it says teen's parent reportedly found the photos on his phone, which he saved from Snapchat. Also, mom, could be.
At the time, Chris's career was at an all-time high. But so too was cancel culture. He had a few successful podcasts, a couple very popular Netflix specials, a role on a TV series called You, and was set to be a prominent character in a Zack Snyder film called Army of the Dead, which was his dream role. But right in front of Chris's beady eyes, all that went away almost overnight.
By the alleged emails. The outlet reports that one email claiming to be between D'Elia and Simone Rossi, one of his first accusers, allegedly says, "I'm 21 now and down to f***." His reps claim he didn't respond to her. Rossi previously claimed that D'Elia and she had communicated online in 2015 when she was 16, when he allegedly asked her to send him pictures of herself and asked to make out. Or maybe I'm fake, even though my name and story have been corroborated with his team. She also posted, "The article literally says he asked me for photos before asking my age. So it's rather satisfying that was verified by his own team."
There was a lot of that. Not even just one or two girls either. X, Twitter at the time, blew up with other girls coming forward to discuss how Chris acted with them. Mostly on Snapchat, which probably brings those first clips right into focus.
Boy's mother ended up finding it.
Fucking
Finding
haters.
it? What do you mean?
Haters.
Snapchat goes away, right? How they?
He probably saved it. You can screen record, take screenshots.
You got to know that that's going to happen. Some people
I
do
guess,
some crazy
yeah.
shit.
Yeah, it says teen's parent reportedly found the photos on his phone, which he saved.
That's the face of a man who just found out two things. One, you can save Snapchats. Two, he was boned. After comedian Chris D'Elia was accused of sexual misconduct, Zack Snyder made the decision to digitally replace his role in Army of the Dead with an unusual choice, Tig Notaro. Then Chris went away to the land of the canceled for about a year. He made a few appearances and an apology that dodged accountability using an acting trick called the Abrams method. But by then, his fellow comedians had turned on him. His name became synonymous with being attracted to underage girls.
It was like, let me sell him out real quick.
You know, what's important to say, we haven't spoken to Chris,
No.
and we've never been on the road with him. I was on the road with him about 14 years ago once when he was just beginning, but I've never been on the road with him, so I don't know what to think, and I don't know. And that's what's so frustrating.
I'm just sad.
Yeah.
I'm sad.
So anyway.
Usually, comedians will look out for their own, but Chris D'Elia, so far as they were concerned, was guilty. Which is why, when he was making a comeback in 2023, putting out shirts that said something like, "Join our cult," and going on tour, no one was surprised when Rolling Stone exposed him again, this time for cult-like sex pest stuff. In early 2024, he went on a show called Soft White Underbelly and did his very best to seem likable. But when asked if the allegations were true, this was Chris's sketchy response.
Not like the guy was pressuring him to answer anything or asking tough questions. Like the toughest one was just, are the allegations true?
Mm-hmm. Was there some truth in the allegations?
I was a womanizer, and that's the truth. And no, I mean, what I was canceled for was not the truth. But it doesn't matter. That's just perception is kind of a lot of people.
He stammered on for a while after that. But even in that answer, he showed us that his only concern was not for his alleged victims, it was for his career. Or at least what was his career. This was the final nail in his coffin, and Chris was quickly relegated to just a sour memory. Until March 31st, 2025.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Wow. Thank you. I got canceled.
They say that tragedy plus time equals comedy, but I am still not laughing.
Listen, it wasn't what you read, okay? There's a lot of crazy things out there being said about me that just wasn't true, but that doesn't mean that I didn't make mistakes, okay? I made mistakes, and, it's been 3 years now. I've learned, and I'm learning, and it's a process, but it's been 3 years, and a lot's changed in my life in 3 years. Like 3 years ago, for instance, one of the biggest things that changed in my life was I had my first baby boy. I had my first son.
I'm not surprised he went straight from, it was bad, but not like that bad, into, I had a baby and he saved my life and I'm a redeemed man. But like, I didn't need to be redeemed. But anyway, isn't it cute how dad I am?
Came out, that's just science, So, but yeah, my son's white and it's beautiful. Well, you can't say it like that. He's...
Come on, y'all. You can't stay mad at a face like this, can you? But if you're still not convinced he's just a greasy sweetie, how about some throwback material that he clearly wrote before he was canceled?
It is a weird thing. Like when I said on stage, my son is white, and then there was a white dude in the crowd that goes like this, fuck yeah. Like, ugh, you know what I mean? Now, in this day and age, that's insane. Like to be like you could be, don't get me wrong, you can be proud to be white, but on the inside. You know what I mean? Like the second you're like, let's fucking do this, you know? You were storming the Capitol, right? It was January 6th, and you're there. So
for those of you who don't remember, it's not your fault. Jan 6th jokes have been hacked since literally 2020. This is clearly recycled material that he never got to put out. But it's not like there's stuff happening now, so don't get mad at him again, gang, or he'll cry.
But yeah, my son's white, okay? And he cries every day. My son cries every day. My son cries every single day. Like, and I didn't know that, but babies cry every day. Babies cry every single day. My son has cried every single day.
I'm not even 3 minutes into this thing, so I'm gonna have to break it up more than I have been. This is gonna be about a 3-hour joint.
My son has cried every single day for 3 years. Every day. For 3 years of his life. And it's crazy because over the last 3 years, I've cried every single day, okay? And yeah. For different reasons, you know? He's like, I'm hungry. I'm like, I want my fucking career back, asshole.
He keeps talking about his son because those young chicks love a radical dad. I attempted to not include any more of the son stuff, but take my word, as a stranger on the internet, it's more of the same. After the intro, Chris transitions clunkily into how he doesn't like weirdos, and if you ask me, goes a little too far here.
I don't like that shit. I don't like weirdos. With the only reason why you should have a twisty mustache is if you're with 3 other people who also have a twisty mustache, and you're all singing the same song, okay? That's a barbershop quartet.
Perhaps a bridge too far, but I digress. Anyway, he pivots to talking about kids he went to school with and how one kid didn't know how to flip people off right. But do you remember how I said I wasn't going to include any more of his my son material? It's looking like that may be impossible.
Source, and he also like loves my tattoos. Like whenever, even when he was like a little like infant, like he would look at my tattoos wherever they were, and he would see them, and whenever he saw them, he would be just like, he would look at them and be like, oh. Like he was a fucking old Asian dude or some shit. Like, but that's what they do, honestly, and it's okay, but that's what old Asian dudes do. And like, what does it matter? I'm canceled. Doesn't matter what I say. So, but they do that, and you know, and that's okay, all right? Like, you see them shopping, and they're just, like outside of the store. Honestly, even if you're here and you're mad and you're Asian right now, you're like, like you're doing it, so it's okay. And that's
yet another hot take, Chris.
And walks away, all right? By the way, my son says thank you like he's a little British boy, okay? And it's because he watches so much fucking Peppa Pig!
Nearly 20 minutes in, and he hasn't gotten off the whole son topic. I get that he's writing what he knows, but at what point is someone close to him going to be like, dude, enough? In any case, I recently learned a term for something that I've always been aware of, but I didn't know the name of. Clapter. Ty Rivera defines clapter as when an audience doesn't laugh at what you said because it wasn't actually funny, but they are your fans, so instead, they clap. There is a lot of that flying around in this special.
Like, this dentist is big, and you know what? I don't agree with that. I don't think you should say that even if you are the Russian in my head, okay? I know this is uncomfortable to talk about, but fuck it, this is how I talk now, okay? I have nothing to lose.
Then he goes on to blatantly steal George Carlin's bits about the 7 words you can't say on TV.
No problem. Topography! No one has ever gone to jail for screaming topography. But there are some words that you can go to jail for.
How crazy is it that we live in a country that if you say certain words, you lose a bunch of money? Isn't that crazy? There's like 5 words that if you say them, you lose your job, money, friends.
And after borrowing from a classic, he moves on to a little more heartfelt version of himself. He even pulls up the stool for an emotional sit.
Shit, it was wild. I went to, and I got into therapy immediately. I got into therapy and I did it every day, and I did it all day, man. Like, That's why I say I cried every day. That shit's the truth. Except it was during COVID, so it was on Zoom. Like, that's so bitch, you know? Like, they're so alone in a room crying, like nobody's there. You know, and there's no one to hug. Every session ended like this. Okay, I'll see you next time.
Okay, here's my to be fair section. To be fair. If Chris is ever going to recover from being whatever it is that he was/is, therapy is not a bad move in that direction. That said, he doesn't make this funny either, in my opinion. Also, the punchline to this all is, of course, his son. And he gets right back into the heartfelt stuff.
I felt good. You laughed, okay? But it's fucked up, man. You know? You gotta feel your feelings. And I always hated doing that. But you do, you have to. And the thing is...
You're fucking awesome, Chris.
Thanks, bro.
Does that moment trigger anyone else's defenses? Like, first off, the kindly heckler is so clearly a plant. Before the guy yells out, Chris stammers like he's waiting for something. He even starts to say something, and after the kindly heckler calls out, Chris doesn't go back into that thing. Mighty, mighty convenient timing, methinks. Not only that, but that, thanks bro, response is so hacky actor-ish. I don't know, maybe I've been watching this pile for a little too long, but it irks me massively. One more time for the folks in back.
I felt good. You laughed, okay? But it's fucked up, man. You know? You gotta feel your feelings. And I always hated doing that. But you do, you have to. And the thing is...
You're fucking awesome, Chris.
Thanks, bro.
Especially because the next segment he breaks into is the titular line, grow or die. I don't believe you, Chris. I don't believe this moment even for a second, but I'm gonna move on because, like the young women you were allegedly grooming, I can't prove anything. Also, I have to talk about the pivot you do here, Chris. The one right around the 40-minute mark where you sit down, change the tone of your voice, and get all serious on us.
He's right, in a way. He is, though. He's right in a way. Because here's the thing. Before I became a dad, I would have thought that if I had a child, I would want him to grow up to be just like me. But that's ego. You know? Now, I know that I am a father. I don't want him to grow up and be like me. I want him to grow up and be better than me. I don't want him to make the same mistakes I made.
This positively could not be more on the nose. Apparently, Chris didn't know that he wanted his son to be better than him. It took years of being in therapy all day, every day, for Chris to realize that. Do you hear how, when he said that, there was a handful of laughter? People were just trying to keep having a good time, and Chris, humbled by the kindly heckler from before, had to keep it pseudo-sentimental. And keep it pseudo-sentimental, he does.
I'm fucked with Calvin. I love him. I love him, so I have to feel. And...
Now, I'm going to be fair here, too. Clearly, he's gone through some stuff. Chris has had a harrowing 3 years, and it shows. He knows he did wrong, and he isn't trying to make excuses or pass the buck.
Okay? All right. Listen, one of the things that Netflix cut me out of was an episode of a TV series, and another person in another episode of that same TV series was Caitlyn Jenner. Now listen, all right? I don't know if you know this, but Caitlyn Jenner fucking killed someone, okay? She killed someone. She killed someone. Google it. She killed someone! And she's in the thing, and I'm not in the thing!
Chris comparing being a twice-accused sex pest and a child groomer to Caitlyn Jenner's vehicular manslaughter is so vehemently tone-deaf. This is, yet again, Chris showing us that he's not sorry he did what he did. He's sorry that he got caught.
He's in the thing and I'm not in the thing! Listen, we all make mistakes, but hers was murder! And she's in the thing and I'm not in the thing. Just make it make sense. If you're gonna cancel people, definitely cancel the murderer.
Never mind. I take it back. Chris isn't even sorry he got caught. By his own description, he has anger issues. Chris isn't apologetic about being caught for being a predatory creep. He's pissed about it. It bubbled under the surface for most of this jarring special, but his ego wouldn't let him take it all just lying down. He had to strike back, had to give himself something to be proud of when he's back watching Peppa Pig with Calvin, so long as Peppa Pig is on Hulu.
By the way, how the fuck has Gordon Ramsay not been canceled yet, for real? Like, he's a dick on 11 TV shows, and they've all been on a decade. Like, you have the footage, get him.
Okay, Gordon Ramsay hasn't been canceled because he never Me Too'd anyone. Same as Caitlyn Jenner. Chris throwing around the word canceled like he understands why it happened to him becomes more and more off-putting the more he does it.
And he'll be like, hey, it's me. And then Gordon Ramsay will like take 2 pieces of bread and like put it on the guy's ears and he'll be like, you're a fucking bologna sandwich, mate. Dude, and the guy will be like, you're right, I have been a bologna sandwich. Like, how's that okay? That's assault.
And this is Chris diminishing what happened. But Chris, on the very odd chance that you're watching this, Gordon Ramsay putting bread on someone's head and calling them a bologna sandwich is nowhere near as bad as you asking 16-year-olds for nudes, bro. The only solace I find is knowing that I am 20 minutes from the end of this abomination. Plus, I can see it in his eyes. Chris is letting some of the demon out a little bit and disguising it as jokes. But watch his body language. Watch his eyes. Watch how tense he is. And note all the fake laughter and silly voices are now long since gone.
Fuckers keep dancing, okay? They dance harder. You can't do that. If you want someone to do better, you have to let them try. It's the truth, man. So I took a year off, man. I took a whole year off. I did nothing but go to therapy. I worked on myself, you know. I kept my side of the street clean. And it's hard, dude. It's not linear. It's a journey. You don't fix yourself in a fucking day. It's a whole,
At this point, even the room full of his fans are exhausted with yes-manning him. Only like a dozen people or so gave him the clapter that time. That gives me hope, I guess. Well, that and the fact that I could type so fucking hard.
Yeah, man, I took a year off. And then I got back on stage and people got re-mad, you know? I got back on stage and people were just like, what the fuck are you? People were like, but I typed so fucking hard.
We do indeed type hard, Christopher. And though I hope to be the first one to get my reaction to this swill out, I am quite sure I won't be alone in doing so. But apparently, someone else wrote an article about him making a comeback, and Chris didn't like what that reporter had to say.
Like a layup for comedy clubs not to book Chris D'Elia. My favorite part is he goes like this: we got to keep comedy clubs safe from Chris D'Elia. Like, dude, what are you talking about? I'm not Voldemort, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just a guy and I'm just trying to do better, okay?
This is, again, another demonstration of Chris's lack of understanding what he did wrong and why the public turned their backs on him. But forget all that, gang. He's just a guy, and he's just trying to do better. Please forget that doing better for Chris means not, allegedly, asking teen girls to send them pictures of themselves so he could, I assume, diddle his quack to them. But what do I know? I'm not him.
And I see that shit, man. I see that shit. And here's the other thing. I know how I fucked up. I know. I'm me. I'm the one that knows what I did and what I didn't do. Me. I'm me. I'm at home with my family. I see the heartbreak on my wife's face, the shit that we have to deal with, and then she gets bullied online. I see that shit. I see my dad's face and how he aged 10 years in 2 years because of the stress, the situation in my family that I put myself in these situations, and that's why my dad's stressed out. I have to deal with that shit. Me. And you know,
I love how long it took for the audience to stop being like, yeah, and clapter abounds in this one. I actually timed it out. It's 8 seconds of silence before the spattering of applause finally kicks in. Their hands must be sore by now, dude. Dear God. But they keep cheering him on as though he's the victim, and this is some massive comeback he's made despite all the odds. Poor fella. He even blames himself for his rich Hollywood executive of a father getting older.
Oh, I talk a lot about fear, and that's something that I am fearful of, is I feel like because of the situations that I put myself in and my addiction, that it's my fault that my dad is getting older, you know? Because he couldn't deal with the stress. And you know what? It's sad. It is, it's sad.
It's sad that your dad is getting older because you ruined your family name? I guess so, but I'm not gonna lie. As soon as I saw that stool come out, I knew it was about to get icky again. This is so on the nose, and the fact that he does it twice makes it all the worse. Second only to that is how cringe it is to see him try to cry on cue, which we've seen him fail at before in that soft white belly episode. He keeps trying to squeak out a tear for a while, connecting non-existent sentiments and creating these false parallels between his cancellation and the birth of his son. Honestly, it gets hard to track what he's talking about after a while, once he starts in about the stuff with his dad and his son. I think it's a smokescreen of emotional buzzwords, so people walk away from this special going, good for Chris, man. He really pulled himself out of a downward spiral. But he hasn't. Nothing has changed. Nothing important, anyway. But when in doubt, repeat the thing you're saying 100 times and get the hell out.
Okay? Like, this is how it happens every time. I'm like, Ma, we gotta go. And this is what she does. She goes like this. Okay, wait, Christopher, wait. Okay, wait, Christopher, wait. Christopher, wait. Christopher, okay, I see. Christopher, wait. Christopher, wait. And by the way, we're still near the couch. Like, we're not even outside. Christopher, wait. Christopher, wait. Christopher.
That's exhausting even to watch, but at least he's done now.
Grandma, do muffins come out of your penis as well? Wait, Christopher, wait. Christopher, wait.
Okay, we made it. Thank God there's no way he can
lower herself. Wait, Christopher, wait. Christopher, wait. Christopher, wait. Christopher, wait.
When he gets this faux nostalgic look on his face, I have to sort of brace myself. But luckily, Chris was about to move on to broader pastures. In fact, for his closer, he told a sort of hybrid airport Uber poop joke.
What happened next is 100% true, okay? 10 minutes into the ride, my son shit his diaper. And he blew up the car. Like, you know when, like, you think you smell someone shit their pants? And you're like, is that shit? Did someone shit? Is that what that is? It was not like that. It was like when you're like, oh, someone shit. Like, it was so obvious. Yeah, dude, and I thought at this point the jig is up. Like, we were gonna get thrown out on the side of the road because what 5-year-old shits their pants? But luckily, I thought quickly and I leaned in and I said, I'm sorry, sir, my wife farted. And you know.
And just like that, I was free. The special came to an end and I took a deep breath. But as I exhaled, I realized that I had more questions than I did going into the thing. Like, do you actually think he's confronted his demons? Did he really learn his lesson and is now returned a redeemed and righteously changed man? Let me know what you think down below, but I am not convinced. He's saying all the right things and he's acting like a better man, I guess. But that's just it. I think he's acting. I think he smelled the opportunity to come back and pretend things aren't as bad as we all remember. I think he wants to be at the cool kids table again, just like things used to be. But, as is the nature of life, time keeps turning. And frankly, if you ask me, I don't think it's safe to let Chris D'Elia anywhere near the kids table, cool or otherwise. He's shown us time and again that when he's given power, influence, or fame, he weaponizes it into a means to access young women. I think the bigger he gets, the worse he can hurt people. I think that if he was innocent, he wouldn't have been slammed for the same thing twice. I, and this is just me, don't think comedy was missing him. Specials like this, with the exception of this being a rare case due to Chris's cancellation, aren't worth the risk. And whatever reporter claimed that we have to keep comedy clubs safe from him was onto something. In summary, Chris D'Elia, bad. His cancellation, good. This special, the worst of all.